It took an immense journey for me to reach this place of calm. This peace I carry within wasn't a sudden revelation or a magical transformation overnight. No, it was a slow, painstaking evolution. A journey shaped by the kind of moments we don't talk about. Those quiet struggles and silent battles that unfold behind closed doors. This calm you see now, this tranquility, was crafted in the fires of experience, in the most intense and unrelenting of circumstances. It pushed me to my absolute limits, teetering on the edge of my endurance. Yet it was these very moments that molded me into someone who could face life's tempests with unwavering composure. Reaching this state wasn't a graceful path, nor was it straightforward. It was riddled with times of deep doubt, moments when I questioned whether I'd ever truly find peace. But here I am, on the other side of a journey that has left scars, but has also left me resilient. I am now more at ease with myself, more at peace with the world around me. I've learned that tranquility doesn't come without its own tests. It takes intention, patience, and an extraordinary strength to keep pushing forward when every fiber of your being wants to surrender. When I reflect on this journey, I'm drawn back to the pain, the deep, unshakable kind of pain that doesn't just hurt momentarily, but embeds itself into the soul, shaping everything it touches. Pain is one of life's certainties, yet we do everything we can to avoid it, to dodge its grasp. For me, however, there was no escaping. I had to face it, let it seep into my bones, and adapt. The kind of pain I encountered wasn't just a passing hurt. It was the kind that alters your worldview, that changes how you see yourself and those around you. There were days when it felt unbearable, when I wanted nothing more than to let the weight of it all consume me, to allow despair to sweep me under its relentless current. But something within wouldn't let that happen. A whisper, a pulse of strength, a stubborn resilience deep within that wouldn't allow me to let go entirely. It pushed me to fight, to get back up, even when the odds seemed overwhelmingly against me. This relentless struggle taught me the value of independence, though not the kind that I eagerly chose. It was a necessity, a survival mechanism born from the disappointments and betrayals that life threw my way. Independence became my anchor because I realized that relying too much on others opened doors to disappointment and even deeper hurt. Over time, I built walls around myself, not to isolate, but to protect the parts of me that had been wounded, the fragile pieces that had already endured so much. I learned to rely on myself, to find strength from within, not because I wanted to, but because it was the safest path I could take. So, this calmness you see isn't just a facade, it's a shield, a carefully cultivated resilience in a world that often seems intent on throwing challenges my way. Calmness became my silent vow. I won't let this world break me. But getting here took years. It took letting go of things that were outside of my control, releasing the weight of past hurts, and accepting that I couldn't rewrite history or make people apologize. It took understanding that I couldn't force life to bend to my will. This was perhaps the hardest lesson of all, but once I learned it, I found a new kind of peace, a profound serenity that had eluded me for so long. People often wonder how I managed to stay so calm in situations that would leave others shaken. They see the surface, this composed, unflappable exterior, but they don't see the internal journey, the nights spent awake wrestling with my thoughts, reliving memories, piecing together fragments of my experience to make sense of it all. They don't witness the countless hours I've spent in silence, processing, accepting, and finding a way forward. I keep this side hidden, because I understand that the world doesn't always respond well to vulnerability. In a world that can exploit open wounds, where showing your true emotions can sometimes be met with misunderstanding or even judgment, I've learned to protect myself with calmness. I carry this composure as a safeguard, as a promise to myself that I won't let the outside world dismantle the peace I've fought so hard to find. As time passed, I began to realize that those who had hurt me, who let me down, who betrayed my trust, were often dealing with their own struggles, their own wounds. This understanding doesn't excuse their actions, but it helps me see things from a broader perspective, a lens of compassion that wasn't there before. In understanding this, I found room for forgiveness, not just for them, but also for myself. I forgive myself for the times I was too trusting, for the moments I ignored the red flags, for allowing myself to be vulnerable. I know now that I was doing the best I could with what I knew at the time, and in forgiving myself, I've unlocked a peace I didn't know was possible. This calmness, this outer peace, is more than a survival mechanism. It's a reflection of my deepest desire to be understood, to be seen for who I truly am beneath the surface. Beneath this calm exterior is someone who craves connection, who wants to be valued beyond what I project to the world. I've spent so long striving to be strong, to be independent, that I often overlook this gentler, more vulnerable side of myself. But it's still there, quietly hoping that one day someone will see it and appreciate it for what it truly is. Until that day comes, I will continue to nurture this calm, to protect the softer parts of myself, knowing that I am enough, that I am whole, just as I am. When I think of the apologies I've never received, and may never get, I realize that it's okay. For a long time, the thought of those unspoken words haunted me. I believed that if only they would acknowledge the hurt they'd caused, if only they'd show a hint of remorse, then perhaps my heart could truly begin to heal. I clung to the hope that one day they'd understand the pain they inflicted, that they'd see the damage left in their wake and feel compelled to set things right. But as time passed, I came to see that holding my breath for someone else's remorse was a prison of my own making. I've accepted that I can't control how others behave. I can't force understanding upon someone who's never looked back or asked themselves if they might have caused harm. The truth is, some people walk through life entirely unaware of the ripples they create, too caught up in their own experiences to realize how their words and actions impact others. Waiting for them to suddenly see the light, to recognize the hurt they may have caused, would only keep me shackled to that past hurt. I had to release myself from that cycle, because I came to see that by expecting an apology, I was giving them a power they may never even realize they held. Instead, I turned my focus inward. I realized that what I truly had control over wasn't their behavior or their response, but my own. I could choose to carry the burden of their actions, allowing resentment to take root in my heart, or I could choose a different path. I could choose to let go, to lay down the weight of what they did, to stop waiting for closure from someone else and create my own. It was a painful, humbling revelation that the peace I was searching for didn't depend on anyone else but me. By letting go of my anger, by deciding to move forward without the need for an apology, I found a strength within myself I didn't know existed. Resentment only binds us to the past, keeping us anchored to moments that no longer serve us. But in releasing it, I allowed myself the freedom to truly move on. I found that forgiveness wasn't something I did for them, but a gift I gave myself, a way to untangle my heart from the pain of their choices and reclaim my own peace. Letting go wasn't easy. In fact, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. There were days when the resentment would creep back in, when the memories felt raw all over again, tempting me to sink back into the comfort of anger. But I had to remind myself that this anger didn't serve me anymore. I wasn't doing myself any favors by clinging to the past, by nursing wounds that time alone couldn't heal. Choosing peace over the urge to settle old scores, over the lingering ache of unfulfilled apologies, has become the quiet triumph I carry with me each day. Not every battle is worth fighting, I've learned. Sometimes, the greatest victories aren't the ones where we prove ourselves right or receive validation from others. Sometimes, the victory is in choosing peace for ourselves, in realizing that our worth doesn't depend on anyone's remorse. Peace isn't something someone else can give us. It's a decision we make every day, a decision to let go of the weight we carry and allow ourselves to heal. For me, peace became the only victory worth claiming. This calmness I've cultivated is freeing, but it wasn't easily won. It took years of reflecting, of confronting my fears, of enduring pain without allowing it to define me, and it was worth it. Now, I can look back on my journey not with bitterness or regret, but with gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons learned, for the strength I've gained, and for the calmness that now holds me steady. This calm is my strength, my sanctuary, my anchor. It's what allows me to face each day with resilience, to embrace life's uncertainties with grace, and to hold on to hope even when things feel overwhelming. This journey, with all its twists and turns, has been worth every step. I wouldn't trade this hard-won peace for anything in the world. If you're still with me, thank you for sharing this journey with me. I would love to hear your thoughts, what you might add, or even what resonated with you. Your presence here means more than you know, and I hope, above all, that you find your own version of peace in the places you least expect. Wishing you all a beautiful day, filled with resilience and calm.